I'm Carly. I'm a PR major, management minor. We kind of thought about this idea because over the summer, I did this thing called QuipRS, which is a program through Quinnipiac where we actually did a research project and had to go through and make a research poster along with it. So we just kind of thought it was a good idea because I had no idea what it was to teach you guys about it today.
I'm Lauren, and I'm also a PR major and management minor.
I'm Nick Ciccarelli. I'm a management major, and I'm a sophomore.
Alicia Diaz. I am a senior PR major with a management minor, like the rest of my group.
Yeah, and I'm Justin Corson. I'm a management major, and I'm a senior as well.
Okay, so these are basically some of the objectives that we're going to teach you guys throughout this presentation. So one of the things that we want to show you guys is how to create a well thought out research poster that gives people a clear picture of what it is that you're trying to establish and what you're looking for. You also want to know what is necessary to include in a research poster. Some people, they put way too much into it and it just carries on and drags on and no one's going to end up looking at it. So we're going to show you guys what it is. And then you also want to be able to grab people's attention with your poster, so like through pictures, data analysis, and different words that will draw people to your poster. And we're also going to show you guys a creative way to create a research poster. So what is basically a research poster? It's basically an illustrated abstract to advertise your research. It's a combination of text, graphics, data analysis, and it has to be visually appealing. It's extremely important that it's visually appealing, or else nobody's going to want to take the time out of their day to go and actually look at your poster. And basically it has to be quick and efficient. It has to, hopefully within like 10 seconds, people can get a clear picture of what it is that you want people to know from your research. Like I said, it should be eye-catching. So these are basically the poster framework. These are the different things that go into a research poster that is important to have in it. If you don't have any of these things, then chances are your poster isn't going to be what it is that it needs to be.
Alright, so now we're going to talk you through each one of these. Here's just a general layout of what your research poster should look like. You got to start with the title. And I know you think the title of your research paper is supposed to be so eloquently worded and make your professor be like, oh wow, they know what they're talking about. But for a research poster, you need it to be simple, you need it to get to the point, and you need to really avoid acronyms and jargon, because if I don't know what you're talking about, I'm not going to take the time to read your poster. I'm not a scientist, don't use words that I don't understand. It's just not going to get any interactiveness with that poster. So, once again, eye-catching, big font, maybe a fun color, or something that's really going to pull your audience in. So from the title, you're going to go to the purpose. And this is the very important part. You need to engage a discussion with your viewers. You need to have them reading your poster. You need to make them wonder, hey, like, why is this important? And is this a kind of project that I could recreate? Will I get more validity from reconstructing their research? Can I get more in depth? How can we use both of our information to collaborate to reach a more intensive understanding of what you're looking at? And you need to base your poster off of answering those kind of questions. A big thing about the research poster is it needs to be engaging. If you're not engaging with your viewers, your poster is pointless. So after the purpose comes the introduction, and the way we really like to think about the introduction is as a mini paragraph. You want it to be short, understandable, and get straight to the point. Then after that little intro to what you're talking about, you want to end it with your thesis. Ending with your thesis will help keep your viewers engaged. It will keep them knowing what you are talking about, and really hone in on the fact that this is why I've created this poster, this is why I've done this research, and this is what we're going to talk about throughout the rest of the poster or project, depending on how you're using it.
So next you're going to look at your subjects, and subjects are going to follow your introduction because you're just going to go through a fluid way of organizing your thoughts. So your subjects are the people who are partaking in your study. So for the one that I did over the summer, it was college students that we sent out our survey to. So in the subject part of the poster, it said all the demographics about them, whether they were female, male, and what year in school they were. So this is really important because it just gives you a little bit of background, and because every research is going to be different, who you're looking at, who you're targeting. So it's important to put this part in your poster as well. And then for some science-based research, I know in the program that I did, there were a lot of science ones, so they had things like mice and flies and things like that. So those would be the different subjects for them as well. So between every poster and every research, it's going to be different. So then your methods section, there's two parts that are needed for this. It's going to be the description of your data, so the methods used to collect the data. So you can either do surveys, focus groups, different things like that, and you can bullet them and do different subtopics and things like that to really organize your methods section. And the other part is going to be an analysis of your data. This is just the numbers and the calculations that you find. This isn't your results section because it's not analyzed. It's just basically the raw numbers and the calculations that you get from your results. So if you do SurveyMonkey and you look at the results section, that would go into your methods section as well. So this section will involve how you recruited all of your participants again, and it should have subsections like this. So I know for mine, an example was that it had the sign up, so the survey that we sent out in the beginning, just kind of a little overview of what that was like, and then the main study, how we got it, and then different stimuli needed. So for ours, it was different news articles that the participants looked at, so that was the stimuli that was used in the methods. So the next is going to be your data analysis and your results, which is pretty much the bulk of your research, the reason why you're doing it. So you're going to explain and briefly summarize your results. You're not going to take everything that you have in your research paper and put it onto your poster because there's just so much that you find. So it's just a quick summary. You can bullet them and list them like that. You're going to state whether the data proves or disproves your original hypothesis. So again, in the introduction, you're going to have what your hypotheses were, and then you're going to put this again and see whether it was proven or not. And this is also a place where you can discuss new information that you didn't have. So if you found something that you weren't looking at in your hypotheses, but you wanted to add them into that, this would go into your results section because it is new information that you found. And then following that, you're going to have your discussion section. So this isn't your conclusion. This is basically just saying how your research can further the different subject areas that you were looking at. So I was looking at health communications. So how my research could further in the health communications field, different researchers and things like that, where it could be useful. And this is the information you put on your poster that's easy for others to comprehend. So just like a quick little couple bullet points of that.
So for the conclusions, it should be a short statement of your results, and it has to acknowledge whether your hypothesis was proven or disproven. That's basically the whole point. And it can be a bulleted list, but it's important to make sure that it's not sloppy and that they are full sentences. And leave room for a brief statement at the on the meaning behind your results and what the research can do. And acknowledgements, this is important because you have to acknowledge anyone that helped you get to the point that you're at, and thank them for the resources you used. And here are a few examples. Thanking Quinnipiac for the program study, and thanking the laboratory used for the sciences. And then references, as always, are very important to make sure that you don't plagiarize, and only cite what you used in your research poster. Do not cite everything from your physical research paper.
All right, so we have a couple tips. The best tips that we could provide is it's easiest to use a pre-made template like a PowerPoint, and you can send this directly to print it out. A poster usually is like 3 to 4 feet.
3 by 4 feet.
3 by 4 feet. Images have to be cited, and the picture quality has to be pixelated. So you want to make sure you have the highest quality picture. Font, minimum of 18. Colors usually don't show up that well. And you need a lot of contrast with your pictures. And alignment, you want to keep everything centered and make sure that everything is aligned. So with this, this is a bad example of what you should do for a poster. The title there's no logical flow to it, and with the difference is that flow, and also they both have references.
Yeah, and this is just like a good thing to look at too, because you're the same way as your poster would be. So your poster is basically just taking everything you have in your research paper and putting it into poster form, but you're just taking the most important things of it. So you're going to start with obviously your hypotheses, background of literature to back up what your study is about. Then you're going to go through your material, again, methods, your data analysis to your results, and then you're going to finish with your conclusion. Just like any regular paper, your poster is going to be set up the same way. It's just obviously you want it to flow better than that example.
There's also a psychological portion to this. Because we've been conditioned to read the way that we do, it's our culture, that follows your natural eye flow. So it just makes people grasp the information better. So this is a good example.
So this was actually the poster that I did over the summer. So we started with the purpose, went into a little bit about the introduction, and we kept it pretty the same. All the font was the same. We had bullets here, so we brought it over to there as well, just to make it all flow. Went into the subjects, methods, and then the picture is just one that we found online. But again, like Justin said, you had to make sure that it wasn't pixelated. So when we blew it up into our huge big poster, it was still clear. Same with the picture up in the corner, and then everything just kind of flowed nicely through.
Here's another example, kind of the same concept.
So this one was my roommates who did it as well, and she did a totally different study. She did hers on engineering, and I don't even know what it was on. It was something from the
science.
Mid-State Medical Center, and she was like reorganizing their in their OR room and like their nursing surgical tools and like making it so much clearer. And so basically this was her paper, and hers is a little bit different than mine, and that's something with the research poster that you can have, is that it doesn't all have to be generic and the same. You can switch things up, because she had her implementation steps, which I didn't have in mine, so that was a different section that she added. So it is very flexible, just as long as it is really flowing still just the way as your paper would.
And more about the layout, you see that they carry over the bullet points, and it just all looks very uniform. So that's a really important aspect as well. Oh, yeah. References are super important. So now it's your turn to make a research poster. We've got all of the information for you. We cut out some templates, and we're going to see how much you guys actually learned in our presentation.
And we'll just do it by tables.
Yeah.
So then just like there's a couple that, like each section might have two. I don't think any has more than two, but.
What is this supposed to be? Oh, it's your research.
Yeah, so if you guys just recreate it, read the information, and decide what goes exactly there.
Just try. Read them and try.
Okay.
You just learned this information.
I know. This is
Alright.
this is methods, right?
Alright, I'm so proud of you.
I looked at you guys one time.
Data.
Yes.
This is a fact. This is oh, is this the introduction?
You guys
This is talking about
I don't think so.
Love that. These are your references.
They do it.
This is what you did. This is your methods too, right? No.
Because it's, read it again, if you see it, it's something about furthering.
This card just counted.
You guys can take your time.
Okay.
Make sure you,
Yes.
make sure you're positive.
Oh, I think we did it all wrong. Why did I do that?
Because this is our project.
Oh.
Good, Alex.
No, this is a project we did.
Like this stuff.
Intro, this is intro. Yeah, this is a purpose, right?
There you go. Many of
You're
them.
gonna plan
Well, I
to
knew
just
it
the audience
before.
wishes to engage in something
This is.
control.
This is. I'm guessing each one with register.
there
I
is
would
something
hope so.
for each one of the boxes.
Yeah.
This is
And some boxes may have two in it, but not.
That's nice. I didn't realize. I don't know.
Oh.
It all makes sense.
That would always
The theory.
That's what it says.
So this would be background information.
Oh, so that is
Introduction.
Yeah.
You have a lot
Good
of
voice,
child.
Ashley.
They're doing all right.
Like
We made a research. They were.
Yeah, it's a very. Oh, are you guys done?
I think
Yeah,
so,
I
yeah.
love it.
Rocked it.
You learned so much.
Yeah.
You wanna look over this?
Yeah, check if we're right.
I need a.
No, I'm kidding. I tried to slurp through it like 50 times. It's a stir. Like,
I think this.
Definitely not.
why isn't anything
I
coming
think
up?
that's the same. I think
Alright, let's see if you guys are right.
What do I wear?
There are.
Are you wrong?
Oh, no, they're not.
Did you guys finish?
No.
Think?
Oh,
Are you still working?
Still working.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I really dramas.
No?
No?
This could be
Yeah.
reordered
Yeah.
to make it flow better.
Oh.
If you.
There's no orders?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought I
there's
said
an order.
yeah, we did
No, we didn't. Shh.
Well, there we go. Yeah.
Go compare. Do you
Okay, that's done.
Yes.
Yeah.
It goes.
That's, yeah, I like that.
Is that better?
I like that flow.
That flow is better.
There we go.
Hey.
And there is I'm confused. Sorry. Carly, can you come here?
Yeah.
Should all of these things be in the same place?
No, this is I
Okay.
pasted it twice.
Wait, Carly.
Yeah, this is the wrong page. Or this is just.
And then what's that?
You guys done too?
Oh.
Yeah.
You're outlining.
What am I missing?
I didn't see it. No, I mean, have you guys got it? Yes. Do you have a question?
Yes. Can you explain to me
Yeah,
Can you explain?
yeah.
That's alright if you guys.
Alright, and then we have.
Compare it if you guys are like contract.
Could you explain the difference between methods and like data analysis?
Yes. So your methods are,
Yeah.
subsections of like
No.
recruitment, sign up.
Are you always gonna have subsections?
We will, yeah, because like if you looked at the
Yeah.
second example with Chrissy's, her method section was how she implemented her different steps.
Oh,
Her
she's
different implementation steps. So then your data analysis is taking like,
No,
yeah,
but
you have like data into.
Yeah.
But this is like your hard
Okay.
coding and like
hard
you physically,
calculations.
yeah, like using SPSS, like physically
Oh.
analyzing it, like this is where.
Is
we-
everything in like the right
This is
order?
This is like
So we
the
analyze your
seems to be,
survey?
yeah.
tests
So
and
yeah, just
surveys
make
and
it
everything like that, like
Oh, this
It's
can
really
like
be
analyzing it and
reordered
getting rid of
Over here.
Yeah.
bad
Okay.
data.
Okay.
Like, I'll try to, like, remember how we had like,
Oh, like the
insignificant.
Yeah, okay.
Because they
Okay, cool.
like.
And then,
Do you have any other
Where is this one?
yeah, I was just gonna ask.
interdisciplinary
Yeah.
application? This was just like a
Yeah,
section
there's
that
something
you
in
guys-
a wrong
Yeah,
section
it's
that
like-
belongs
No,
in
this is
another
like
section.
a topic that's gonna be.
So why don't you look over, starting at the beginning and go through your flow, make sure everything is going that way. And then
This
Oh, proud of you.
was, jeez.
I'm just curious and I want to learn.
It's just basically saying how within different disciplinary, so like for marketing, advertising, mass communication, where the implications lie. The implications lie. So for ours, like for mine specifically, was self-efficacy and how in different places, the like messaging could be like worded differently,
Yeah.
and like that's where there's gonna be
The first two
implications of that.
Oh.
Because like
they are
if
very
I'm
similar,
trying to
so I
target
can
like
understand the confusion.
someone in like market, like I don't know, like an older generation, like
You're
you
gonna
can
have to
use,
market
you can
different.
still use
Yes,
this
great job,
self-efficacy
guys.
message, but you have
So
to
the rest of
word
that.
it differently because they're an older crowd versus like you can use the like use the self-efficacy, which is like the younger crowd.
So you would suggest like shorter, like when you're doing the research, so like not going into detail, like
All right, cool.
Yeah, you're gonna
You
want
guys
to
got it.
go
Awesome.
into detail
Do
enough
you have any
so
questions about
like people
why
walking
things
by
went
are gonna
really
know what
good?
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Plus, you're gonna put pictures here too, right? So that's
Right.
awesome.
Yeah,
So
we'll
you're
have
walking
pictures
here,
here, like it'll be more.
That's why we thought.
Yeah,
Since you're walking
and that is like a very big issue with this. Like, if you
Yeah, it's just
put
basically,
too much in
basically a
the purpose,
summary
you
of
don't
each
lose the
section.
attention
Even
of
shorter,
your
like even like shorter,
viewers.
so
So
just
it's
like
like
the most
really
important
important just
information.
to
Just so like
get
when
it
you're
out there
presenting
in
your
a
poster,
very
you
quick
can
and concise
like,
manner.
look
So
at
the
this and
one
be like, oh,
sentence
that-
explanation
this is what I was talking about. Because
It's
you're still explaining
beyond
the poster.
perfect.
Right.
for what
So
we're
you write your
trying to do
paper
here.
before you do the poster, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It makes it easier.
Yeah, right.
Any other questions?
And then
Why are there two
here you're also like gonna have
Because
like you can have an acknowledgement
sometimes,
section.
if you're
gonna
trying to
have
figure two different things out,
your
you're like,
thinking.
somewhere
Yeah, so like
you just have to
who
make
you're
sure you
doing
like
your
discuss
research
it.
for. Yeah.
So you, for this one, like,
So why wouldn't there be two
Yeah.
different versions?
Do you want to take this one?
I think it would be dependent on
This one?
what the actual research
Oh,
is.
you
it
did
out.
put it in this one.
Where did you present the work?
We had this like poster
So,
presentation. It was just like
Because
right here,
the
yeah.
hypotheses are set
And then we're like,
hypotheses
I'm like writing this thing down.
are so
Oh, really?
closely intertwined that they can be summed up into one
Me and my
conclusion.
professor
It would go into more depth in your research paper where you would have to explain.
Why do you do
But
that?
for this, if you can
They're
just
looking
give an
at those.
overview of what
Under
you're
AI
doing
or
with
something.
a couple
These are
sentences,
Alright.
that's more than sufficient.
Well, convention or?
That's all this is gonna be like filled in with like data and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
It is on screen. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go.
Oh, another question?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
discussion, does that like summarize like your whole paper, your whole project?
Yeah,
Discussion, so that's more of what you're concluding.
Right,
Is
it's
what
like
you
you
want
look
to
at
include
what
what
you're
you're
doing.
like
And then
discussion
show me
is
where
kind of
you're
saying like what you want to discuss to other.
Like what you best.
Like what
Okay.
message you want to get out.
Okay.
Pay, did you say pay for it?
No, I said what you're bringing.
Oh,
Phone a friend.
yeah.
So you guys are gonna take a survey,
Yeah.
like about your
They have
experience.
yours.
Yeah, they have it good. Theirs is all in the right order.
What did you get?
So you guys did a really awesome job at putting these together. There were a little minor confusions, but we're just gonna run through it really quick on here and discuss why the things are properly placed.
So the first section was the purpose, and it was to examine the impact of self-efficacy and health messages on behavioral intention to engage in some safety behaviors. So basically, it's just, I'm not gonna like get into the whole and what each thing means unless you guys want me to, but basically the purpose is just a summary of what this whole poster is gonna be about. So if you were just to walk by someone's poster and look at the purpose, you could understand pretty much what the entire poster was about without having to go through the rest of the thing, and that's really what the whole purpose is. As with any research paper, even like PowerPoints, things like that you make. So the next one is the introduction, and these two, the early year and the theory of planned behavior, was prior research from scholarly articles. So this is the background information that you find and kind of the reasoning as to why you're looking at the research that you were looking at. So, and then again, it's followed by your two hypotheses that you're looking at. And then your subjects were, for this one, it was the 65, we had 65 college students. This is the section for the subjects, you really want to put just what you used in your study, because I know like for our study, we had like 175 people like participate, but we had to get rid of like insignificant data and different things like that. So just on your poster, you're going to want to put just exactly what you used. So then for the method section, you can have, I was telling this group before, you can have a bunch of different subsections, just like this one had the implementation steps. Like, it's really just kind of however your research went and however, whatever different sections that you use. So for us, we had a recruitment section where we offered gift cards and had a message sent out. And then from there, we had the sign-up section and the main study. And this is kind of where we like started with 170 people like in our main sign-up study. And then like once we sent out the real study, we only had like 80 people actually like take it and receive the gift card. And then the stimuli, this was what we wrote the two different news articles on. So just however it flows. And then you could put a picture on either side. You mainly want to keep it in the center just because your introduction is really just all factual, purpose, and subject, and whereas your discussion is the same thing as well. So the pictures in the center really only go with your data analysis and your method section anyway. So data analysis, as you can see, this group asked the question as well, what's the difference between methods and your data analysis? So your data analysis is you have obviously your data and all the numbers and stuff go there. And then discussion is kind of how you're going to further your message, or what, it really doesn't matter what your topic was, and I'm just talking in terms of like what I did, but like for discussion it's just furthering whatever your research was and how it's going to help other people. And then conclusion is like you're concluding your own physical study, so that's what makes it different from the discussion. And then just the other things are just kind of like standard things that you can have.
Right, do we have any questions? Never gonna be a professor.
Before you guys go, can you guys just fill out a quick survey first, tell us how we did, and then that would be awesome.
Yeah, and if you haven't
signed.
signed in, please do so.
You
Yeah,
guys have pens, or-
I have
Yeah.
some pens.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
You might get an interesting color, but
You're welcome.
it's life.
Can I have a pen?
Yeah, but you'll have to share.
They have two. I have a pen and a pencil.
Need some? I just bought them.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Actually, I might be helpful.
You need a pen.
You're welcome.
I say it's much like 6:30. Yes,
Do you all have pens over there? You need some. Awesome. Fun colors. I had to take a pop quiz the other day and I had to do it in green ink. It was mortifying. It's like, Professor, I don't have a green pen.
And just let me know if there's any slides that you want us to go back to reference for this.
All right, so do we have all of your surveys? Yeah. All right, cool. If you ever want to get in contact with any of us, if you need a refresher of this, or you just want maybe a copy of our presentation to help you in the future, please feel free to take down our email addresses. Send us an email. We're more than happy to send you our slides.
We got a little handout for you guys if you guys leave. So.
Yeah, it's just a little. It's basically what you did in your activity. Just kind of a little bit of an overview, just a reference back if you ever are making a research poster. So, just want to thank everyone for coming. Have some coffee on your way
I
out.
hope you guys really got something out of this, because that's the point of this. Like, that's why we're here. Have a nice afternoon. Enjoy the
Yeah,
weekend.
thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Salt drink and drive.
What?
What?
Oh.
Colin? And thanks for calling.